Good morning. I'm Desiree Dubois, founder of An Empowered Woman and Homework. Homework is where you live, where you work, work where you live, anywhere in the world. Every Wednesday morning, we have coffee and conversations where we meet with our different members and they share their products, their programs, and their services to be able to build and enhance our businesses. And today, I'm excited to be able to introduce us to Kay Bates. Kay Bates is a realtor, founder, realtor of Bates Realty and Investments, as well as she's the president of Toastmasters in Escondido, which is in Southern California. Good morning. How are you?
I'm great. How are you, Desiree?
I'm fantastic. I'm excited because I have been a participant in the past of Toastmasters, and I found it really, really valuable, and I have a lot of great stories from it. And so I think that is a great baseline for people who want to speak, whether you're doing public speaking, whether you're speaking on Zoom, whether you're speaking, I mean, now we're doing a lot more presentations than we ever did before, even when we had our brick and mortar businesses. So much has been done on video. So I think this, and that one, it's been said many, many, many times that public speaking is next. What's that saying that it's next
More,
to?
more people are afraid of public speaking than they are of dying.
Exactly. And I've heard that over the years. And another really, really interesting thing that I've heard is that that's Aretha Franklin used to be so afraid before she was on stage. And we know how many times she's been on stage that she literally get nausea and vomit each time before her performances. So even someone as seasoned as she is and as, polished as she is and talented still has that fear. So tell us a little about yourself and your real estate and then how you got into Toastmasters and what Toastmasters can do for our community.
Well, thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank you for this opportunity to speak about Toastmasters and public speaking, something that I've become very passionate about. And thank you for all the participants that are on here who are maybe interested or have some interest. At the end, you can definitely find out more about Toastmasters. I am, like Desiree said, the owner, founder of Bates Realty. I am also the president of my chapter, which is called the Chamber Toastmaster. It's in Escondido, California, which is located in San Diego County. You may not have heard of Escondido because it's not really a small town. We have, I believe, about 200, maybe close to 300 people. So it's pretty big, a growing town. I am also a director on the board of the Escondido Chamber of Commerce in Escondido as well. I found Toastmasters probably about 5 years ago. I kept hearing about it, and I don't know, have any of you heard of Toastmasters before? Desiree was a member, a participant, but if you've heard of Toastmasters before, I'm sure most people, every time I say Toastmasters, people are always like, oh my God, I've heard of Toastmasters. And I've always wanted to do it. Again, the fear of public speaking holds most of us back. And I'll go into that a little bit down the road. Toastmasters is an international company that's a nonprofit and it's worldwide. Anywhere you are, you can attend a meeting, you can check out different organizations because they're all different chapters. You do not have to become a member to participate. They will welcome you with a breath just to come in and to check them out and really get a feel for how their chapter runs. Each chapter is a little different. There are some that are comedy, there are some that are international, there's some that's, your open clubs, there are closed clubs, there are women clubs, men club. My club happens to be an open club, meaning that anybody can come in at any time, check our club out repeated times, and then decide if they want to join our club or not. Our club also has its own love language. Our club's love language happens to be family because we are very protective of each other and we tend to always try to rally and become each other's cheerleaders. Our club, which is again the Chamber Toastmaster Club in Escondido, happens to be one of the oldest clubs in San Diego. Our club is 38 years old.
Wow.
Yes. And I have been there for 4 years. I am the president from July 2001 going into June 2022. Yes, I was afraid of public speaking. I definitely did not throw up or had any outbreaks, but I thought my heart was going to come through my mouth. I was very, very nervous, did not ever want to public speak. However, I had a burning desire within me to share some of my passions, and I've always wanted to inspire and motivate others. I found that Toastmasters happened to be the path to get me there. So that's part of what Toastmaster does, the story, how they operate. They are, if you go to any club worldwide, my notes are all the same format. They start off with an invocation. They introduce the president, and they introduce the Toastmaster. Table topics, which table topics are a series of questions on a particular topic that no one knows the questions to, so it's kind of impromptu. So it's impromptu speaking for about 3 minutes, and usually everybody in the club participates. Then we go to our speakers of the day. We usually have 2 speakers per sessions, and then evaluators and closing. Now, our club in particular meets every Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. and it's 1 hour. Now, you may ask if you can be a member of our club. You can definitely check our club out. We have a link. If you're interested, please send your email to Desiree, or you can send it in a chat to me. And you can just check our club out if you're, wanting to hear a little bit more about Toastmasters or even see it. You can also Google Toastmasters in your area, and you can get their Zoom link, because every Toastmaster club currently is operating via Zoom. You can check them out. Now, some of the benefits for Toastmaster, for myself, like I said, I was afraid of public speaking. I was definitely one of those people that would rather die than get in front of a club. And I had a challenge. I was assigned to be, as I said earlier, I am also a realtor, and I was assigned to lead our caravan for realtors. And a caravan is where realtors come and they pitch their properties for sale. Investors come, contractors, a ton of different people. And I had to be MC. Of course, you have to get up in front of the crowd, and I've never done that. I kept watching and there's no way I could do this. And then I joined Toastmasters. I checked 3 clubs out before I decided I was going to join a club. And of course, I stuck to Chamber Toastmaster, where I found the club itself, the benefits of Toastmaster was really to help boost my confidence, to encourage me to be able to share my stories and my passions within a time frame. That's one of the major things about Toastmaster. You can't just ramble on. You have a specific time frame. So you speak for 1 to 3 minutes. When you give a speech, it's 4 to 7 minutes. And that was probably the biggest help to me, being able to stand in front of the crowd, knowing that I was being timed, so I couldn't ramble on. I had to give the meat and potatoes of my story and give it in a way that I could easily communicate and it was relatable to others. Toastmasters also helps with communication, regardless if it's people in your office, you're working with one person or thousands of people. It helps you to be on that stage where you can definitely reach anybody and be able to definitely communicate. So with your spouse, children, most people use it for work. Our club has 18 members, and I would say probably half of our members use Toastmasters because they're in management positions at their workplace, and they have to continuously be in front of employees. They're giving speeches, they're giving directions. And even if you're just giving directions to people, you will also want to use sometimes the right wording, understand how to phrase it, understand how to talk to somebody without making them feel, inferior or smaller, because you're the boss. You don't want to talk down to them. And Toastmaster definitely helps with that as well. I do have a couple of notes that I said that Toastmasters, for one, helps boost your communications. It helps boost your morale, self-esteem, confidence. And those were the things that I wanted to take away from. I wanted to make sure that I felt I could be on a stage in front of one person or thousands, like I said. And it has totally changed the way I look at public speaking. Today, I no longer get butterflies, which is really weird to say because everybody gets butterflies, but I don't. I get a high from it, and it's not me. I am truly an introvert at heart. However, this happens to be a passion of mine, and I feel we all have a story and we all have a voice, and we should be using it. It doesn't matter. I mean, most people think, well, you get public speaking so that you can go and tell the story to the world and stand in front of, all these people. The biggest stories you share and tell are to the people closest to you and those people that are listening. One of the biggest skills that Toastmaster also brings is the art of listening. You participate in evaluations. And when you hear evaluations and you listen to someone's speech and you're listening attentively so that you can critique someone on the basis of their content, then you're listening a little differently. You're not listening to rebut, but you're listening to actually give constructive. That's something in your marriage, your home life, your partnership. That is something that is such a big takeaway because most people listen to rebut versus listening to give really constructive criticism on the information that they just heard. Do I have enough time?
Yes. Oh, no, you've got plenty more time. It's
Okay,
interesting.
because I can go on and on. I'm so passionate about it. I absolutely love Toastmasters. So one of the other things is with Toastmasters, once you get involved, and you can get involved as much as you want to or as little as you want to. I actually feel I'm an ant and I want to move mountains. So I am taking small bites. Like it's been 4 years I've been in the club and I'm now the president. Every time you attend a meeting though, you have to take a role. So the format I mentioned earlier, the invocation, the Toastmaster, topic master, speakers, evaluators, and closing, they all come with a role. So each person takes one of those roles and they vary. Every week they're going to rotate. We don't have somebody doing the same thing every week. So this way we get club participation. There's also one of the biggest things, and I find myself now, I am a snob, and I say this regrettably because when I listen to people speak, I'm always listening for, when I hear ums and, oh man, oh, so, and buts and if, and all the filler words. That is one of the major things we do. When we give our speeches, there is somebody who's called an off counter. One of our members actually charts how many times each person who is speaking uses a crutch. My biggest crutch was like. I am in Southern California and I am always like, come on, let's go. Well, you should try that. Like, it's so cool. Like, come on. I was always using like and so, my two crutch words. Today, I find when I hear like, I'm like, ooh, why are they using that word? Stop. But only because I'm there. I'm not going to say in my head, I know that I'm always listening for some of the crutch words. And when you hear like anchor people or people giving speeches, I think it comes out to you. You start listening for those crutch words. That's one of the biggest things, that and timing. Now, you can give, Toastmasters follow a path and it's through pathways. So once you start giving speeches, we start at an icebreaker. So the icebreaker is the first speech you're going to give in Toastmasters. And when I say speech, I mean a 4 to 6 minute speech or 5 to 7 minute speech, not the 3-minute table topics, because everybody can participate in that round. But when you give speeches, the first one would be an icebreaker. An icebreaker is called an icebreaker because you're giving your first speech. So we're welcoming you into the club and we're helping you so you can tell about yourself, which is the thing that we're most comfortable with. So it's called the icebreaker. After that, you can go through our pathways and you take a series of tests to figure out where do you want to be? Do you want to be in leadership? Is your, what style are you? I am definitely in a leadership role. I like I said before, motivating and inspiring other people. And hence I took the role of president. So my role right now, other than formatting and keeping our club upbeat, and our club is also a designated club, meaning we make sure that all of our members and all of our officers are trained. We all have been certified. And so we are a distinguished club. Our club only has 18 members, but we are all so diligent that we've earned the distinction of being a distinguished.
Nice. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yes. Also, I need to bring my game to the table. I have to always give really sound words of advice. I have to root people on. I have to make sure I'm always encouraging, always letting people know they did a great job. Toastmasters can take you a long way, other than, you boost your self-esteem. Now you're a confident speaker. Now you feel like, you can stand in front of a crowd. Where does that take you? Well, if you are like me, somebody who just wants to see how far you can take this thing, you step out. And I have actually stepped out, and I've done so many speeches now. I've competed in an international speech. And in the round that I competed in, I placed third. So I have a third place ribbon, and I competed in all of San Diego County.
Nice.
That I did it via Zoom, and that was not as easy as I thought it would be. I enjoyed it, and I was very blown away that I placed third, and in a group of probably hundreds of people. It was really good. But Toastmaster can really help you catapult your career. I got invited to be on the board of directors of the Chamber of Escondido. And when I received that letter, I was blown away. I just thought, I didn't expect it. It wasn't something that I, was aspiring to do. I never thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to, write the chamber and find out how can I get on board. And being on the board of the chamber, what it does for me is really get involved in the community and get to really see how we can help small businesses, which again, that's something that I'm passionate about, finding out why is it that our businesses are here and some businesses are, on a different thread. How do we get the city to get involved and help all the businesses in the city of Escondido? Now, there's a chamber for every city in every town across the United States. So you can definitely, if that's your goal, once you are confident and you feel your self-esteem's up there and you can go out and change the world, that's an option. There's also public office. There's the head of the clubs in every single area, like the football team, the mom's club. So it's not just for public office, but it could be your personal life. It could be the head of the Girl Scout club. It could be any club that you feel where you want to make an impact. I believe Toastmasters is the greatest foundation to get you there. It definitely prepares you for being able to listen, being able to communicate, being able to feel like you're so confident. I mean, once you start to, look at me, I've been talking for, I think, almost 15 minutes. And like I said, if you know me, I am just not really that person. However, because they've pulled out of me so much, I honestly feel it's something that I need to give back. I do need to step up to the table and really help people who feel that this is probably not for them. Everybody has a story, and I think everybody needs to step out on that limb and share your story.
I agree with you, and I 100%. And I remember when you talked about the icebreaker, I joined Toastmasters, and I think I shared with you that when it was time for me to do the icebreaker, that I was so frightened. I was so afraid. And then prior to that, the reason why I wanted Toastmasters is that, when I started my first business, I would always hand the mic to somebody else. I would say hi, and everyone else would do the introductions, and they would do everything. I would not want to be on stage. And it really came to my awareness when I was supposed to. My sister asked me to speak at my niece's funeral. And, so we had prepared, and I had studied and prepared this the presentation, the eulogy. And I went up there, and there was one part of it where I was saying how she was always very affectionate and hugging. And I said to everyone, and you should go to turn to the person next to you and give them a hug. When they turned back to the stage, I was gone. I was too
Oh,
afraid to complete. I was too afraid to complete I was so nervous and so, when I saw that opportunity, I sat, my sister was like, what happened there? That was like, you were halfway through. That's when I realized that I needed help with it. So I went to the Toastmasters. I signed up, and I'm trying for my icebreaker. I sat in the car. On probably one of the hottest days in Woodland Hills, and I could not get out of my car to go in. But I knew eventually I had to. So the next time I went in, because I knew that was not going to escape me, what I did for my icebreakers, I took a calendar, and in every month of the calendar, I shared experience, a story about, like, January is when my first son was born, February was with this, March was this. And that was what I used as that prop to help me through that 3 to 5 minutes, because I needed that kind of crutch. So it was really, it was a long journey. And now I know the freedom of being able to speak and to be able to communicate. And I am very sensitive to the counters. And I'm always surprised when I'm listening to a newscaster or a professional person. It's like, they're saying, like, you become very sensitive to things of that type. But I think, besides the fact that it's just self-esteem, and you mentioned the fact that it can be for not only business, but for your personal relationships you have with your children, even if it's just a person in the retail, in a store, how you communicate with the cashier or the salesperson, or anyone that you're dealing with. But it's really, on the personal level, it's really, really huge, being able to listen. And so it allows you to, before you're talking to people, you're always so anxious to interrupt and to talk, but be able to sit and listen, and then learn the tools to be able to say, okay, what I hear you saying is, or what I think you mean is, and then it automatically changes the dynamics of everything. So on a personal level, that's valuable, but also in a business level for your negotiations. And most of the ladies are in business, and we negotiate every day, whether we like it or not, whether it's with our husbands, our partners, our kids, or our people that we do transactions with. And being comfortable in that part, in your own skin in that way, is huge. It's really, really huge. And it's also most of the people for sales. Most of us are selling, and we need to be able to be comfortable in being able to do the presentations, like now, especially now with Zoom, doing webinars, doing videos, doing podcasts, doing interviews, all those things these ladies are participating in, whether you're the interviewer or the person's being interviewed, being able to communicate, because there's always those opportunities where we say, oh, I wish I had said that, or I wish I forgot about that, or I wanted to communicate that. And it's a difference when people are just totally comfortable in they're doing, whether you're on stage or off stage, as well as being able to just know your craft and know your thing. What I find really valuable is that a lot of people come to this country and don't know the English language well. And the Toastmasters that I participated in, we had a lot of foreigners there that had management positions like yourself, from different countries, and they wanted to be able to speak better English. They wanted to know, and that was huge for them. It was a huge gift for them to be able to have that opportunity to participate in something that made them more confident. Because many times, if you don't speak the primary language, English language, then it's hard enough to learn the English language, but another thing is learn how to communicate and feel confident enough to be able to do presentations. And it makes a difference in your ability to be able to get raises and get promotions and get those managerial, positions. Otherwise, if you can't communicate, it makes it more difficult for you to achieve and succeed in those areas.
You just said something that was very key. A lot of people think public speaking and Toastmasters is just for public speaking. And, you've mentioned it, and I've said it earlier, it could be just with your spouses or spouse or others, right? Or 1,000 people or whatever you want that to be. However, when you're in a workplace, negotiating, and especially as women, negotiating with men for a salary, oh, I think this is where it's definitely most critical, being able to stand in your truth and tell somebody else without getting angry and frustrated and mad, but knowing how to speak, how to communicate, but listen carefully to what they're saying and what their demands are, and then knowing the right questions to ask. That alone can really get you great negotiating on your income. I've been put in places where I'm in a room and it's all men. And that alone is, I'm sure we all have experience, definitely very difficult because they feel they control the world. And I see it totally different. I'm like, no, we're in control and I'm going to win. And to me now, it's always it's a competition, but it's not an outward competition. Is always in my head, because I have to now maintain my professionalism and I have to show that I am equal to all the men in the room. And Toastmasters really, like I said, I really find like confidence builder is probably one of the best things so that we are able to stand up and be able to be accounted for.
Okay, the thing is that this is something we do every day. We speak every single solitary day. We walk every day, we eat every day, we breathe every day. We speak every day. So why would you not know and learn the best way to speak? Whether you're negotiating a transaction in real estate, whether you're presenting a transaction, in front of the room for an event, we're doing it every day. So why not have that skill set, have your best skill set up in that way?
Yep. And I will say, I don't know if anybody is interested, but the fees are nominal. We pay quarterly. Every state, of course, in every country, the fees are going to be different. But our fees here in San Diego, I believe for 6 months is like $80. It's nothing, like absolutely nothing. We spend more than that on coffee probably in a month. I feel, business owners, and we're all business owners on here, we have to probably, I have to, but I suggest like take time for us.
And it's in it, and that's the skill set you mentioned is great. The self-confidence is great. Again, being able utilizing different mediums like the podcast, the videos, the interviews, even the articles, it translates into your written word. But also just for your personal self-esteem, but the camaraderie. You mentioned that yours is like your family. It's another organization, a group organization with like-minded people that you can connect with and do business with. So we were talking yesterday about, Jennifer was talking about the B&B, different organizations that, they have so many different organizations that they have, you can participate in. Now that things are virtual, so it makes it so much easier.
It's
So much easier. But the people that you meet, I have met in my Toastmaster groups, people from all over the world. And these, again, people that are in different positions where they are at Toastmasters, so they can learn how to be presidents, vice presidents, they're engineers, they're attorneys, they're just people from all over the world that want to present the English language better so they can have those positions. So you're the networking that is done in the family because you watch each other grow. You're watching each other stumble, you can grow, you become a family. Depending on how long you participate. And it's so nominal. And it's not just limited to your chapter. When I was chapter, I would go to different chapters. So I would go, I think I was in Los Angeles. So when I went to Palm Desert, I went to a chapter there. You go to the meeting, it's on the line, you go there, they introduce you as whatever it is, whoever you are. So you get a chance to meet another networking opportunity. Then I would go to Santa Barbara, another networking opportunity. They introduce you, you have an opportunity to network with them. So it's like that one fee includes anywhere you want. Then they have a huge national events and they have an international event. And I didn't go, but I know that they had one event was like in Europe someplace, and there's thousands of people that went to Europe. And can you imagine meeting thousands of people from all over the world united with, speaking? That's giving me chills just to realize that for $80 or $150, whatever it is a year, that you're actually networking and being with people who are trying to better themselves, and the professionals, business professionals and entrepreneurs.
And our chapter has, like I said, we have 18 members. We have engineers, doctors. We have me, a realtor. I mean, so it doesn't matter where you are or what you do. What matters is that we're all there for the common goal. We all want to be better at our craft.
Mhm. And you learn so much and you do so much. So this is exciting. So now I've got a decide. I'm gonna
Yeah.
put it on my list because it's been years and it's always room for improvement, no matter where you are in your, your craft. There's always room for improvement. And you think, you've got it mastered again until you go, in front of a group. And it's just such an ease and it's such a, ease to be able to get in front of people and spontaneously they have, like you said, the table topics, like right off the top of your head, to be able to be given the topic. If you're interviewed or option for that, be able to come right off the top of your head and be able to
Ex-
speak about any topic, whatever topic it is. You learn so much, become so much better, so much better verse, so much, whatever.
No, the table topics is probably one of my favorite things. It's like you never know the questions. That's what you just said. And you don't have to even know what the subject is because you can pivot. A good speaker will pivot out of that experience. Like I've never had a deep sea fishing experience. However, if I get a question on that, I would be able to address that topic master and said, what a great question, Mr. Table Topic Master. I experienced deep sea fishing online. However, I will tell you about the experience I've had, and then you can pivot. You can pivot out of any question they throw your way that you're not familiar with. So it's not about climbing up and going, oh my God, I don't know what that is. I've never done any of it, but just repeat back to them what they've asked and pivot out of it. You know, other thing, so I do have a business coach. And for years, everybody on here knows that social media is where everything happens. IG, Facebook, even TikTok. And a lot of that is because, we want personal interactions. We want to see what people look like. We want to feel their energies. And my coach told me something 5 years ago, and this also pushed me to Toastmasters. And he said, are you losing weight anytime soon? And I was like, oh, what? That is personal. Well, you don't want to go on camera. Is there something about you that's changing? And I said, no, I've looked the same way pretty much all my life. I've just gotten older. Well, just do the damn thing. And I'm like, what? Put yourself out there. And I thought, oh, I don't want to do that. But I realized that in this climate that we're in, people like videos, they want personal experiences, they want you to be congruent, they want you to be authentic, and they want you to share who you are and your story. So I'm doing it.